Okay, so we are at the stage where we have alam plus ruditva. After bringing in the affix ktva by the sutram 3-4-18, alang khalvoho pratishedhayoho prachang ktva. And then we already saw how 1-2-8 ruda vida musha grahi swapi prachaha samshcha keeps the affix ktva as a kit, following the verbal lut rud, even though the affix takes the augment it. So 115 kiniticha completely stops. 7386 puganta lagu patasya cha. So the final form is ruditva. And now we are considering whether we should form a compound between alam and ruditva by the sutram 2219 upapdam a thing, because in the Sutram 3418 Alankalvoho ends in Saptami Dvivachanam. So therefore, as per 3192, Tatropapadam Saptami Stham Alam or Khalu gets the Upapada Sanya. And now 2219 wants to form a compound between Alam and Ruditva. But then comes 2220, which is a Niyama Sutram, restricting rule. What it says is that Amai Vavyayena. Padacheda Sutram is Ama Eva Avyayena. Vritti says Amaiva Tulya Vidhanam Yadupapadam Tadevavyayena Saha Samasyate. Which means that the Upapadam may be compounded with an Avyayam and indeclinable only if the avyam ends in the affix For example, the affix namul. In the affix namul, of course, the ending letter la is a it by halantyam. The anunasika ukaraha is a it by upadeshe janunasika it 132, and the beginning letter na is a it by 137 So after tasya lopaha, we have as the affix. The sutram here is 3426 swadumi namul. We will study this sutram later, and at that time we can go into some details, but this is just a reference as to where a affix of the form is prescribed, and a term ending in that affix may compound with the upapadam. Now there's one more condition required to be satisfied before compounding can be done, and the condition is that provided also that the affix is the only affix prescribed by the same sutram which prescribes the upapadam. For example, right now what do we have? We have the sutram 3418 Alankalvoho Pratishedhayoho Prachankatva. In the sutram, as already mentioned, Alankalvoho ends in Saptami Dvivachanam. So by 3192, Tatropapadam Saptami Stham Alam or Khalu gets the Upapada Sanya. Now in the same sutram, the affix Ktva is prescribed, not the affix In order for compounding to take place, the same sutram which prescribes the Upapadam should prescribe the affix and only the affix not the affix optionally along with some other affix. In that case also compounding cannot be done. Should be the only affix prescribed by the same sutram which prescribes the Upapadam. Of course, in our case right now, is not being prescribed at all. There's no question of compounding. The sutram 3418 prescribes Ktva. But if we have another sutram which prescribes the Upapadam but prescribes the affix only optionally, even in that case compounding cannot be done with that Upapadam. Only in the case where is the only affix prescribed by the same sutram which prescribes the Upapadam, then only compounding may be done. In our present example, we have alam plus ruditva. Ruditva is a avyam, but ruditva does not end in the affix at all. So the compounding which would have been done by 2219 Upapadam is stopped by this Niyama Sutram restrictive rule 2220, and therefore we don't do any compounding, and the final form after applying monuswaraha is alam ruditva, with ruditva staying as a pruthak padam, a separate padam from alam.